Smell the spot orchid?
Go. The first segment we have today is with Brooke Penny on K2 News. Now to Brooke.
The team at Catlin Gable Real-Time News went behind the scenes at local broadcasting station K2 News. We met the anchors, sat through a live taping, and explored the different parts of the studio. We got to see a typical day in the life of the staff members, as well as see just what it takes to be in front of and behind the camera.
Our first stop at K2 News was the newsroom.
Somebody assigned to only doing the 5 p.m. show. Somebody assigned to the 6. The person who does the 11 p.m. show doesn't come in until 2:30 this afternoon. So they're sitting there, and then at the assignment desk. This is where your fax, emails, and your phone calls come here. He's listening to police scanners. Do you hear that? So we know if they're rolling on a traffic accident, a fire, a robbery. He's listening to all that, and he can stand up right in front of all the producers. That's why he's strategically placed right here and say, hey, there's a fire happening, or there's a robbery happening. The Univision station, the Spanish station that we have, they're in a pot over there. The far table over there, where you see the gentleman standing there against the whiteboard, all the reporters and producers gather there every morning at 9:30 in the morning.
Up next, we went into the newsroom with morning co-anchors Carl Click and Natalie Marmia.
Like I said, the graphics person, Nikki never wants to be on TV, but she creates these beautiful graphics that get on the air all the time. So, and then, you've seen the technical people working on AM Northwest, running cameras or doing those kind of things, and there are a lot of different, our photographers, so there are a lot of different ways that you can contribute. The most important skill, besides public speaking, is writing and learning how to write well. And that starts with, if you get assigned a paragraph, you have to write, for your 4th or 5th grade social studies class or your high school class. It becomes a term paper, that kind of stuff. You got to know how to take information, whittle it down into, a story or some kind of presentation that people will understand. And so I had really good teachers. I had the best high school writing teacher who started me on my way. So that's really important. But the other thing is you have to be well-rounded and be able to understand government, economics, sociology, sports, and we do celebrity news too. But you have to have this wide range of background so that you can be informed and understand how government works and all the other things that we're covering. We know a little bit about a lot. We have people write most of the stories, but we always edit them and rewrite them. And a lot of times we're kind of the final editor. Some people might bring us material and we read it and go, well, I don't know what this means. We may have a question. We left this out, or we're not clear enough about this. So we either gather the information or make sure people put it together, gather it so it's clear. We don't know a lot about any one particular thing. That doesn't count.
One of the things, wouldn't you say, that we love about our job in general are the just amazing people we get to meet along the way and these different features?
Favorite story that I ever did? I did a story on a music teacher who was deaf, or she was going deaf. She was losing her hearing, but she loved music, she loved teaching, so she had to figure out a way that she could stay in the classroom.
Jasmine Wong and Riley Carey went to the Oregon Zoo to learn all about enrichment and what enrichment is. Next up, a segment on enrichment with Jasmine Wong and Riley Carey.
The Catlin Gable News team spent time interviewing volunteers at the Oregon Zoo. We wanted to find out what enrichment the zoo animals get daily.
So we have different toys that we give to them to play with for training, and some of those have food in them. So I'll take, imagine like a big giant cake mold or a Jell-O mold, for example, and I'll take different shrimps and clams and other little things like that, put them in that, fill it with water, maybe I might even stick a little bit of coloring in there to make it look different, and then freeze it. And then those get given to them also as supplement to their diet and something interesting, because it's a different way of getting their food. Some of the feeding that I do also is, for example, when I did the last feed today for the sea lion, I did the the last feed today, which will actually be tomorrow morning's first feed for the otters, I took a big tub, sort of like a jug really, it had a large opening, and I put all of their mussels in there, and then half crabs, so cut crabs and pop those in there too. So in the morning those will go out, the morning keeper will feed those out, and it'll just be an interesting way for them to get their food. So they have to kind of fish in there with their paws and tilt it and shake it a little bit. So sometimes it's just feeding them, right in their mouth, and other times it's not. Sometimes I get to help with that, and other times it's a senior keeper that does it.
How much time do you get to spend with the animals?
Well, amazingly enough, part of working at the zoo in an animal area, a lot of it involves cleaning. So there's a huge amount of upkeep of the exhibit. So keeping the exhibits clean, keeping the back areas clean, cleaning out all of the containers that we've used to prep up their food. But then there is, of course, still a fair amount of time spent with the animals. But I'd say about probably 2/3 of my time is spent like behind the scenes doing cleaning or food preparation, diet prep, toy preparation, and then the other third is spent with the animals.
This is a ball a tiger would play with, and the holes are from when they would scratch or chew on it.
Next up, we have Emily Prince, who went to the Oregon Zoo to see some of the wildlife there and how they keep the animals interested.
Hi, my name is Emily, and I'm here to show and teach you some things about wildlife. Enrichment is a term that you hear a lot in zoos. Enriching the animals' lives means keeping them interested.
With the polar bears, it might be taking giant toys, if you can imagine a daycare center or a preschool. Huge balls and spools and different shaped things, little hats, if you were playing dress up. We have a lot of that sort of stuff, and I'll spray it down with different sprays that smell different. Just something to keep them interested, or sprinkle different things on them, like maybe sprinkle cinnamon on one, or take a brush head and spritz it with vanilla extract. Take some of the big balls and put just its thin little bits here and there of peanut butter.
This is your wildlife report. Back to you, Josephine.
Malik Williams went to the Broadway Rose Theater Company and interviewed some teens in the summer camp.
That was funny.
Malik Williams went to the Broadway Rose Theater Company and interviewed some teens in the summer camp, and also brought along some assistants to interview the director and the choreographer. Now to Malik.
Calvin gave the news team took a trip to Broadway Rose to interview people. Oh my God, let's do this like it's a dance.
Let's go.
Now back to you, Josephine.
Do it again.
Let me do it again.
Do it again.
Oh,
Just say now back to you, Josephine.
now back to you, Josephine.
So you're gonna come down and you're gonna trombone down and up here and trombone up and next here. Bum, 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 and dun, dun, dun. So leaning out and in, leaning there and then leaning and boom and up. So the more you can get that like angle here and then this one. Like the back, the next back, and really, yet again, it's kind of like an
louder than before, clarinet of every size interpreter, it provides a whole score.
7th grade. So, 7 years now.
Do you want to pursue a career in theater?
I don't think a career at this point, but I'm definitely going to do it in college, and we'll see where it takes me. So.
If you could have any role in any play, what would it be?
My dream role is Sophie in Mamma Mia.
And what's your favorite role you played?
I played Eponine in Les Miserables, and that was my favorite role thus far. So that was really fun.
Look at him. So go ahead and tell us your name and what you're doing here at the camp.
I'm Connor Johnston, and I'm just a counselor for the camp.
So what kind of activities or things do you do?
Well, as counselor, I'm just kind of helping Isaac and Chris and Clara out. I'm helping them assist in choreography, and I did the show 4 years ago, so I'm helping out with the music as well and things that I know.
Okay, and what is your favorite play you've ever been in?
My favorite play I've ever been in was probably The Wizard of Oz, my senior year of high school. I was a scarecrow, and yeah, but...
And if you could have any role in any play, what would you be?
If I could have any role in any play, I would... That's a tough question. I just anything on Broadway. I'll just take anything as long as it's on Broadway. Yeah.
Alright, thank you so much.
You.
I did a segment on the next generation of zoogoers. How kids now can create the world they grow up in. I did a segment on the next generation of zoogoers. How kids now can create the world they grow up in. You may have been to the Oregon Zoo located on Canyon Road in Portland, Oregon, and you may know that the Oregon Zoo has a large focus around teaching the next generation of zoogoers how they can improve their world. We have Brooke Penny here with Karen Friedman, who's in charge of the Zoo Experience program. Now to you, Brooke.
So the teaching we do here is all what we call interpretive teaching. When I teach a class during the summer, during the school year, and we have the education animals, which would be maybe the chicken, the snake, the tortoise, a bunny. When they come into the class, we have them in for about an hour, and we're handling the animals and we're teaching the children some of the things about the animals that way. So that's a very close contact with a very domesticated type of animal. The animals that we have out in the main part of the zoo, it's all done at a distance. There's obviously not much contact there. I have had contact with Pete the rhino many times and slobbered on to the point where it's very disgusting.
Yeah.
But most of the part it's at a distance, and it's talking to the public about the animal and what they see and what they experience when they're there at the zoo.
Mm-hmm.
So well, I'm in charge of the Zoo Experience program, so I'm doing a lot of mentoring for new zoo guides. And when you're in charge of a program, there's a lot of coordination, a lot of scheduling, a lot of meetings when it comes to making sure that everybody knows what the classes are that we're offering, when they need to be here, and of course preparation.
So what would you say you like best about your job here?
Obviously it's talking with people, and I think for me it's almost always the children. I focus on the children because children are growing up in a world today where there's a lot of information out there, and when you're contacting animals really close, like in real time, there's a very special thing that happens. And I think my mission here at the zoo is to make the next generation of zoo visitors even better than the one we have now. And so when I'm teaching with parents in the class as well, I'm being a role model for them so that when they come to the zoo, they can be a better zoo visitor to teach their children the same kinds of things I'm teaching them. So it's passing on the knowledge, it's passing on the way of being a terrific zoo visitor that makes the difference in the next generation. So that's why I'm here.